Are we
All right,
starting?
black and yellow to kick things off, and I have some black and yellow above me as well. A
And you
little
should know,
throwback.
I am on a mission to get a cool custom soundtrack made. We need our own theme song. It's time. I think so.
Get some tapankut slash Punjabi
Right?
music going.
I'm telling you.
We should. I think there
Joe's
is one.
like,
There is a Punjabi black and yellow remix.
ooh, next time. We look it out for this.
Yes, we're here. Thanks everyone for joining in. So we're going to be kicking off Town Hall number 13. Thanks again for everyone who's joined in. As always, this call is being recorded. So if you miss it, you can catch the recording. That'll go up in the next 24 hours. We try to put it up as fast as possible. So if you did miss this and you can join in, please do join in on the next one. We like having more people on these calls. It's always fun to talk to you in person. You can always ask your questions live with the team. It's a great place to meet us and talk to us. So we're going to jump straight into it. Um, the agenda for today and something that has been on a lot of people's minds are the updated season 2 rewards. So we did have a town hall the week before last where we dropped a lot of information. One thing that is going to be really important moving forward is we're going to simplify the information in these town halls. We want to make sure that it's easy to digest. This might bring down the time frame, so instead of doing 1 hour town halls, we might do 30 minutes. We might just get through the topics in say 5 to 10 minutes and have like a 20-minute AMA. Let's see how it goes. But that's the format we're going to follow from now on. So, more concise, more concentrated town halls, focusing on a topic that also gives the community time to talk about that one subject over the week and give us feedback as well. So, for those of you who joined in, excited to have you here. And this is the agenda for the town halls coming up. So, the first thing and the most important thing that we're going to be talking about in this town hall is season 2 rewards. So I know there's been a lot of conversations with between all of us and the community about the season 2 rewards, especially with the updates we had in the last town hall. And we hear you. We think it is very, very important that early adopters receive value from the project. That is something that is very, very important to us. There are two very important pillars of the project, especially as we're working towards TGE. And the first thing is to make sure we're keeping in mind the sustainability of the project. And the second thing is to make sure that the backers of the project, the people who have been supporting us from day one, also get great value from the project as well. We think this is very, very important. And that's why we're having this town hall. We want to make sure that we address these concerns, that we talk more about it, and you can ask your questions live with us as well. So yes, we have been focused on maintaining this balance. We've been having a lot of discussions over the last week. Taking in consideration your feedback, a lot of you guys have been putting in some suggestions on Discord as well, and we've heard all of it. So thank you all for contributing to that conversation. Shubs Karam, anything you want to quickly jump into or talk about on these lines before we get into what's next?
Yeah, no, I think that having this nice feedback loop is good. I think we are definitely listening. I think we're going to have more and more discussions about various things as a community as we lead up to the TG, which is a nice segue into then sort of putting in proper governance structures and voting and DABA improvement proposals and that sort of thing. So I really think that this was a nice sort of way that it seems like it kicks off this process. So I'm excited about this. Uh, we're happy to talk about pretty much all of the major things that we do. We think that the community's input matters a great deal. Our goal is very simple to provide a good balance of rewards, but also making sure that the long term health of the project and the goal is kept in mind, that you don't want to do anything too hasty. Yeah.
Nice. Shubs, anything you want to add in?
No, I think Karam summed it up pretty well. Excited that community is participating, and we are here to listen and find the best way possible moving forward. Yeah, so excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important. It's exciting to see how, how excited the community is around these topics and how these conversations are building. It's a good, healthy thing that's happening. And just like Karam said, these are things that we take very seriously, and it's very important to the sustainability of the project. We're not building something to last a couple of years. We want to be around for decades. We're building crucial infrastructure, and having supporters like you from day one to help us build that up is really really important to us. So yes, getting into what are the new updates that we would like to go through. So we have remodeled the bonuses that we are giving out to season 2. Now season 2 was great. We sold out 10,000 units, and it's thanks to all of you. So thank you for your contribution. Season 2 went on for around 284 days. We sold 10,000 units. The community has grown, the engagement has grown, and we can see it across the board. Now, what is very very important and what has been pointed out over the last week is we want to make sure that early adopters in the project are rewarded for their contributions. That is very very important. So what we've done is we've tiered early adopters into two sections. So this is pretty much across the first 234 days of the project. So breaking down the first tier. So these are people who came in really early on season 1 for the first 184 days. These are guys who came in, anywhere from 6 months to 9 months ago, who really believed in the project and got in at the ground floor of season 2. So the dates are from May 21st, 2024 to November 21st, 2024. Now, what will happen for you if you're a part of this group? You will receive your 100 tokens per day till Feb 28th, 2025. Plus, you will receive an additional 20K token bonus. Now, what this means is you are pretty much you're getting an additional bonus of around 5,000 to 20,000 tokens from the next tier. That is the next group of early adopters on the project. Now, for the next tier of early adopters, these are people who joined in anywhere from November 22nd, 2024 to Jan 9th, 2025. So this is about a 50-day window. And what will happen for these participants is you will receive your 100 tokens per day till Feb 28th, 2025. And you will receive, this will be topped up to 25,000 tokens. So this puts you at a 5K addition compared to the next tier of adopters. And the last tier is the people who have, who participated in season 2 in the last 50 days of the project. That's between Jan 10th, 2025 to Feb 28th, 2025. So you will receive your 100 tokens per day till Feb 28th, 2025, and you will be topped up to 20,000 tokens. Now, this is super important. We love the input that has come from the project. This has been a mouthful to even get through. We will make sure to share all these details with you after the town hall, also with calculators and updates coming to Gitbook as well. Now, why is this important? It's very important because we want to make sure that the health of the project is taken care of. And like I said, two things, that is the sustainability plus making sure that our community is rewarded for their participation and being a part of the project. As we move forward, we will have, campaigns moving forward, and we want to make sure that, everyone is taken care of. Now, apart from this, just to reiterate the unlock schedule, season 1, your unlock will be post TGE and onboarding 986.3 per day. Season 2, post TG and onboarding 100 per day. And campaigns post TG and onboarding will be 100 per day as well. So, yes, these are all the details and the changes we're making for our season 2 participants to make sure that everyone is excited, especially as we're heading towards TGE, right? We're on this path to TGE. We have a lot of exciting things to come. We want to make sure that everyone is geared up for that path. So this is also why we're sticking to a single subject for these town halls, because there's a lot of information to dive into and kind of break down. We don't want to get into too many topics, so we want to make sure that everyone can ask their questions. So yes, Shubs and Karam, what are your thoughts on the last 2 weeks since the last town hall and our numerous discussions pretty much every day over the last 2 weeks as well? I think
Should
Karam
go
is pointing.
first. I'm trying to get you.
It's moving
No,
around.
I think I've been having a hard time fighting with the comms team, Don and Rumor, trying to get back to me. We want to give more, we want to give more, and we want to give more. And I'm trying to be like, so it was a healthy discussion. I think Don and Rumor have been really championing for our entire community. So I had to go down. I had no other option. So we have come up with this new incentive bonus structure. And I hope the community really finds this, in par with their expectation, and we can move. This is the right balance. We have been able to find the kind of unlocks this is going to generate, so that we can hopefully maintain the token at the right balance. So it's a good, healthy balance, I would say, and yeah, community should be really proud of Dawn and Rumor being on their side. Yeah, so I'm happy.
Yay! Yeah, I think one of the interesting things worth pointing out about this is also that season one, which the target was 1,000 units, I think ran for a total of about 102 days, right? Slightly on that, 130 days, something like that. September 30th to
I've been going through
Jan.
way too many numbers over the last week.
Yeah,
That's
no, that's what. So roughly
why.
110 days, something like that, thereabouts, right?
What are you looking
And
for?
the number of days season one ran for.
Season one was from November 19 something and ended somewhere in Feb.
No, dude, and uh, it's September 30th to Jan 10th.
Yeah,
No, I
about
think
100 days, about roughly
yeah,
100
That's
days.
what our
yeah,
rewards
yeah, yeah, yeah,
calculator
yeah,
says.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the goal was 1,000 units, and it took us 100 days to sell 1,000 units. Season two, which was 10x that number, which is 10,000 units, didn't take us 10x the time, right? We didn't take 1,000 days to do that. Thanks to all of you, it only took just about 234, 284, something like that, um, days in total, right? Which is amazing. And really wanted to respect the general crypto principle that all communities have, which is the earlier you get involved in something, the better that you should be rewarded. And when we really sat down and did and we thought that, hey, a simple bonus would be great. When we sat down and did the modeling, we realized and we saw everything that everyone's talking about in Discord, we realized we should have thought about that a lot better. And so we did that. And we think that this is a great balance between, yeah, rewarding early adopters and all of you that participate and keeping in mind all of the new partnerships and things that we're going to be announcing and sort of hitting that balance of right amount of rewards for a healthy TGE. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we look forward, of course, to any more discussion on this. And if you think there are things that we've missed out on or anything like that, please let us know. Like I said, I really look at this as this is the first conversation on a lot of decisions and things that we're all going to have, I think, more often as time goes on. I genuinely look forward to the implementing our governance process after TG, so we have a much nicer way of doing these sorts of things. But yeah, great first step. I think this is a good balance. Please let us know what you think.
Yes. I think Karam kind of hit the nail on the head. Even we cannot wait for governance to come in post TGE so we can pass on all of these exciting conversations and discussions to you, the community.
Correct. And it's not just us fighting in the office every day. I mean, okay, I think a good way to set expectations, not expectations, but explain a little better how we think is look, we want to think 1,000 times before we give out even one token. We're very clear on that.
Yeah.
So I think anything that we do, if you see a bonus coming or you see some sort of additional reward or an allocation to a third party or something as part of the TGE process and all of that, please keep in mind we have been as thrifty to the point of stingy as possible. And I think you have experienced this firsthand. Everything with us when it comes to giving tokens, ask any party on the other side, is a couple of conversations. Because we're always like, we'll give you one token. So, but like Don said, all of these decisions are going to move on to the community. And yeah, we would like to safeguard that as much as possible till it's handed over.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, just like Karam said, and Shub's also touched base on this quite a bit as well, right? Um, we want to make sure that balance is taken care of. We don't want to have just willy nilly throw out tokens, and we've seen this with enough projects where tokens are distributed without thinking about what is the project sustainability over time and the direction for the project over time. These things are very very important. Yes, TGE is a very important part of our journey, but that's just the beginning of that journey, right? There's still so many things that we need to cover over time. There's still so much more expansion that we're going to be getting into, more products that we're going to be getting into, more communities that we'll be building, right? So these are all things that we need to keep in mind, and that's very very important. So striking that balance is good. So yes, please do, over this week, please make sure to leave your comments, your thoughts. This is the model that we have seen that has that the best balance for everybody, and that everyone is taken care of, and really puts us in a good position as we're on this path to TGE. So talking about TGE and the path to TGE, we are on that path to TGE. It's been exciting. A
You want
lot of
to
you
wait
have
a
been.
second, Don, before we move to TG? I think one or two people are asking, maybe typing questions. Let's give it like 10
So
seconds
we can do
and
our
then
overall questions in the end. So
and then do the.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So yes, so as always, the format is at the end. We will go through everyone's questions. Please make sure you keep asking your questions in chat. I can see Rumor head down, busily typing and responding to people, and he'll also call out some of those questions in the end if we haven't answered them already. So talking about TGE, yes, it's an exciting path to TGE. Many of you have already seen a lot of growth across various channels that are happening. So as we have more and more town halls, you'll see us have more town halls over the coming weeks to address different things as we're approaching TGE. Dive into more things. Karan brought up a interesting idea of doing a marketing town hall, and we're gonna have tokenomics town halls, and various town halls, product town halls. Maybe getting into the hardware and things like that. Over the coming weeks as well. So these are all important things as we lead to TGE. One of the great things that happened just yesterday, and many of you have seen it, is that we are now on the radar of Messari, which is a huge win for the project. A lot of people have seen this. This is a great win because this lends a lot of credibility to what we've been doing. This means that people are taking notice of, what we've been building in the Solana ecosystem, in the Deepin ecosystem, and that's very, very important. This is something that we're all very, very kicked about and very excited about. So yeah, Shubs, Karam, any comments on the Messari report and Messari talking about Daba?
Um, so we're really excited about this. We're glad to see Daba on Masari's radar. I think there are a few more credible voices that provide analysis and thought and that sort of and research material on Daba that have the kind of I mean, not on Daba, but generally on crypto with the kind of quality that Masari has. So we're really excited that we've now hit a bar where we get our own understanding Daba, and that's awesome. So we're really excited about this. I think you'll see a lot of other people who have done good analysis and deep dives into the ecosystem. I think you'll start to see us get on their radar a lot more as we go forward. And we think that that's a nice sort of intangible milestone, but we think it helps us with a lot of exposure to a lot of, it broadens the circle of people who would now look at Daba more closely. And we think that that's great.
Well, the doctor says Messari is great. I was pleasantly surprised to see it. So yes, super important. Sorry, Shubs, you were going to say something.
No, I was just adding to what Karan was saying. So, like, this is the time we need to focus on our, distribution visibility side of things. We have been able to build a good sales funnel. We have been able to deploy and onboard the partners. Tech is coming up pretty well. So, what was getting built in the background needs to be brought in front of a larger audience. And what better start can we get than getting Nasari to cover us. So I think it is very promising from here going forward. Towards our TGE, getting these sort of visibility will play a very key role in order to build up that momentum towards the TG. So yeah, very excited about this.
Nice. Yes. TG, sorry, Messari is very important. It has definitely, opened up the floodgates for a lot more things, and a lot more people reaching out to us, and a lot more, kind of our exposure in the broader ecosystem as well. So, very, very important and a great win for the project. Going on to the next thing, which is very important for TGE. So our Galaxy Quest is live. And now, why is this important and why do we have a Galaxy Quest? So Galaxy is important, A, for helping bring up our social numbers. That is very important for our TGE, building up those social strength. And also what's very important is having an engagement platform for, the general community to engage with us and be rewarded for it, right? So you get rewards for engaging with us on different posts on Twitter, for different tasks on Discord. So we want to make sure that people are getting rewarded for their engagement, and it helps help build up this healthy ecosystem, especially as we're approaching TGE. This is very important. We're excited to see the different things that'll be happening with Galaxy over the next coming weeks, and we'll be sharing more and more of this. For now, you can see the announcement section where you can go to our Galaxy page. We also have different tasks on Discord that you can do that will get you weekly XP. And we will keep refreshing and updating these tasks on Galaxy as well. So this is very important. Before we did have quests on Zeely, we weren't really happy with how that was kind of laid out. So you'll also be seeing that those who participated on Zeely, we're going to start bringing those participants into Galaxy as well. So all of that will be taken care of. So yes, Galaxy is important. We have Messari. We're on a healthy path to TGE. Before we get into questions, Shubs and Karam, do you want to talk a little bit more on why these things are important, especially as we're heading over to TGE? A little bit about on the social side and the community side. What are your thoughts on this?
So yeah, I sorry, who's gonna go ahead?
No, you have started. Go ahead. I'll join.
I think the simple answer is that there are certain base metrics that centralized exchanges require. And what is also interesting is that depending on how the market is, what the queue of projects are sort of in line to get listed varies, and the requirements that they have are slightly shifting targets. But as a project, we believe that as we're building everything else for the long term, when we start to talk to exchanges and these conversations are ongoing and the rest of that, we want to have the same kind of metrics where it doesn't matter whether it's a bull market or a bear market and that sort of thing, so that you have a healthy launch. And to get to that, it takes a little more effort than just, okay, basic product market fit done, basic validation done, Masari report out there, launch the token, right? There's a little bit more, right? You want to build a really strong foundation. So all of the kinds of announcements and partnerships that you'll see coming up in these town halls, like Galaxy and other things along those lines, are each a little puzzle piece that helps us get to a certain set of metrics. We can't really discuss what these metrics are simply because they're under negotiation at the moment. So if we commit a number publicly, then in our negotiations, we're committed to that number. So that's the best answer that I can give. It's a process that we're going through. It's a little bit opaque because you want to get the best deal that you can. I think that's my best answer. Shoots.
That's that. I would have said pretty much the same thing. Part of the whole process leading up to the TGE, one of them is making sure we have enough engagement. So for success, just the revenue number, how much fiat revenue is flowing into the project is not the only thing that they consider. There are things like what sort of social profiles do you have, what sort of engagement do you have, and I think Galaxy should play a crucial role in getting us what we need from the social proof side of things. So I think this is the right step moving forward to achieve that goal.
Yeah, yeah. Just to talk a little bit to that as well. Galaxy is definitely one of those um, one of those verticals that needs to be attacked. And like Shubs and Karam pointed out, these are definitely important metrics for exchanges, and there needs to be, again, here another healthy balance of numbers versus quality as well, right? It's a quantity and quality situation, which is very important. So there will be multiple different things that we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks to attack all of these verticals. We do want to bring up our community numbers, and we want to make sure we have an engaged community as well. That is very important. If we have both of those together, then we're in a very, very healthy position, and we look very good to potential sexes, etc. That is very, very important to keep in mind as well. So yeah, Rumor, do you have anything that you'd like to talk about on the lines of community and social? Since we're talking about these important things, as we're leading up to TG. Any insights over here as well?
Sorry, I was actually going through
Answering
questions
someone's questions and
and
catching
but
you off guard.
yeah, it totally caught me off guard. But just in general, the overall process, I think what I feel very proud about is we have identified and we have created the culture where we have leaders in the community. A lot of the people over here attending the space were the ones who spoke out. Even like someone like Ellen DeLuz, who joined in really late, was speaking for people who bought way before him, way before he even discovered the project. So it's great to have people like these in the community. We want to have more vocal leaders, and thank you for keeping these feedbacks. And now that we are locked in, I think most of you are kind of heard and like have these changes have been incorporated. Next stage, join us on Twitter, join us over there, help drive the engagement. We'd love to see more content coming out from you. It's really okay. I mean, a lot of you are. Like especially like I'm just thinking of people like Ellen Luz, who has recently just made a Twitter after joining our Discord. So like I love the small contributions all of you are making, and we'll help push it together. We are also in the working through an ambassador program. So yeah, the idea is to build together, and let's do it.
Yeah, I like that you called out the ambassador program. I see Atlas sitting in the audience, but Atlas has been working very hard on a ambassador program that he'll be kicking off with ambassadors as well, very, very soon. So multiple points of engagement, propping up the community. It's time to really get going over the next couple of weeks. That's going to be really, really important. So yes, let's start getting into questions. I see that Rumor and Nick have already started asking some questions over here. Da, 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 da. So, yes, if you have a question, make sure to ask it in the chat. We will answer your questions now. Da, da, da. Rumor, are there any questions that you haven't answered that you'd like to bring up? I'm just going through the chat
Actually, there's
here.
So
one that Velvet Doctor had. Well, two of them that he pointed out, and I agree with what he said. We'll do that. One is as new campaign sales happen, and they are happening, we will update those bit by bit on the Explorer for sure. It's just that there's so much happening that I think that just to through the cracks, that'll happen very quick. Uh, the second thing is, I think you also mentioned saying it'd be great to see deployment numbers as well. Yeah, we totally get that. So now I think one of the things that we've done, which has been good and we think now has enough evidence backing it, is that sales will continue. People are deeply interested in buying hotspots. It's not about proving out that that channel exists anymore, that it's going to grow. And we're definitely, of course, going to be as ambitious as possible in the number of hotspots that we sell because there are millions of them to go. But now a heavy amount of focus, and you'll start to see this happen, is the hotspots going live and getting deployed. So we definitely agree with that. This is a good time to make that shift start to happen. We've always been clearer about that in the background and our ability to get that done. For us, the big unknown was, will people actually support such a community and such an idea? And can you sell hotspots and all of those things? So now that we're way clearer on that and have greater visibility and understanding, focus will shift towards deployments and that sort of thing. Yeah, sorry.
Nice. Yes, I think Macon Bank also asked a question that was kind of on the lines of that, which is as Daba starts to pick up momentum, at what rate do you anticipate being able to onboard the hotspots as they're purchased? What's the current anticipated turnaround now for the 11,000 plus purchased?
Shubes, you want to take those one by one?
Sure. The one thing which is clear is before TGE, whatever number we end up selling, the number of hotspots would be deployed. So at the time of TGE, one basic clarity that everybody should have is whatever that number is we end up selling, all would be deployed on or before of TGE. That is the number one thing. I think once we
As
update.
humanly close as possible. Couple of hundred here and there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There are bugs. I'm saying this as from the tech side of things. Each LCO has a slightly different setup, and sometimes that's a little surprising. And you'll see our
Fair enough.
deployments spike like 1,000 at a time or like a couple of hundred at a time. And it's not going to be this smooth curve thing. So yes, on or at the time of TGE, as many as humanly possible will be done. This pace will accelerate. But please continue. Caveat there.
Fair enough. I think what you said earlier, Karam, that updating the stack where a real-time inclusion is done on the Explorer should bring that clarity for participants, holders, basically. That should give them clarity what's happening in real time. Right now, we have in the last 1 week added another 800 odd units, which are, I think, not yet shown. So, as Karam mentioned, there will be these spikes, but said and done, 95% would be deployed, is what I can confidently say on or before TGE as we move closer to that date.
Nice. Yes. We have another question from Elandulus. He says, my concern is understanding what's needed for TGE in simplest way comprehension. Maybe you can make an analogy that will help not only me but others to understand and have confidence in the project and investing more into it.
I have a great analogy for you. Actually, Shubes, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've made this analogy before, but if you live in a country that has a credit score system, like here in India, we have CIBIL,
Mhm.
right? There's a credit score that you need to get a loan or whatever, and you get different rates depending on your credit score. Now, it is not completely clear exactly what defines it, right? You're supposed to get a credit card, you're supposed to pay your credit card bills on time, you're supposed to pay. So, like that listing with sexes is a little bit like that. It's not a perfect analogy, but there are some areas where things are a little bit of fuzzy, they take a little bit of time, and we also have a strong conviction about certain things. So, we're waiting for our credit score to hit a certain point. We could go get this loan immediately, but we think that there's a better timing to do it, and we would prefer to do it that way for a solid foundation, right?
And we get a cheaper loan in that case if we have the right metrics.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
it's the
think
same
that's.
thing that is happening.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think it's a great analogy and kind of, explains pretty well that when you're talking to sexes, market makers, while you have all the best technology possible, every possible piece is in your favor. But end of the day, these sexes and market makers or any trading related activity is built upon sentiments, market sentiments. And that is defined by how engaging online community do you have. I think that is the one fundamental piece that we need to work upon, and I think Don and team are getting and working towards that. And as soon as that piece, the last piece is sorted, I think we will be in a position to announce the final date for TGE. Yeah, till then, we have to work towards this last thing pending, and pretty soon we should be able to reach there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, great points and great analogy that we need to kind of get the best deals possible, right? We want to make sure that the project is in the best health as possible, and in order to do that, there are these check marks of certain things that need to be done. So yeah, let's move on to. Da-da-da. Ooh, Nick had a good question. Are you worried about the timing of TGE due to the current world markets?
Not really. like if the fundamentals of the projects are not strong, and there are basic flaws into the way the tokenomics has been designed. If our entire project was designed purely on sentiments, market sentiments, how active community you have, how many people are giving you alpha calls every day, and stuff like that, then yes, we should be worried about the market sentiments. Given the core fact that we have a demand driven project where actual people use our service, there is a real revenue that flows in, people pay for our service. I think we have a very strong fundamental over there. So as much as I would say that one should be worried about the market sentiments, the how the current markets are, I'm not 100%. I would say that we are aligned with that statement that we are worried about how the market sentiments are. I think we are in a pretty solid space, and our decision to announce the TGE is not going to be based on current world sentiments. Yeah.
Nice.
But I mean, you want to
Yes.
keep it in mind just a little bit, not like completely
No,
ignore it. Right? A
of
little
course.
bit.
If Sol is dropping further, if it is going down to single digit, of course it impacts. Right. So if you're building on Solana and Solana is only dying, then how do you expect your token to do well? So yeah.
Nice. We have Bacon Bank who would like to come up and speak. Hello, sir. How's it going?
Hey guys, how you doing? It's going good.
Nice, nice. How's it going in your side of the world?
It's going good. I'm actually in Texas right now. Forgive me, I'm sometimes texting. Hard to convey. My question about the deployments earlier was, from just being a deployer myself, sometimes we can have all the equipment, but we don't necessarily have the locations to deploy the equipment. That's one of the things we loved about Daba is the fact that Daba already have a network of clients and demand that's looking for this type of service. But I'm just curious as to how much demand, or I don't know if you can say it directly or not say it, or give an idea. How much demand are you guys already prepped for, so to speak? Like, are you already prepped for 20,000 hotspots, 30,000 hotspots? And while this demand comes in, let's say if you get a sale tomorrow of 10,000 more hotspots, how soon would those hotspots be deployed? Or will people be in a situation where they're buying hotspots and now they're waiting weeks for deployment? Just trying to get a better understanding of what type of infrastructure is already in place and how equipped are those LCOs to how equipped are those LCOs prepared to handle demand now and what's to come?
I think it's a great question. Let me try and answer that for you. So when we sign up a LCO, the LCO that comes on board typically would have anywhere between 500 to 1,000 connections. So any LCO that is running that sort of a business would have a team size of 4 to 6 operations guys that would be part of his team. When you break down the number of deployments that this team can handle, team of 6 folks, you're talking about anywhere between 7 to 10 connections that can be activated by this team. So you're talking about a team of 2 guys that would go on ground and activate that connection. This would typically take 2.5 to 3 hours for them to finish the connection from laying the fiber to doing the splicing work, getting the installation, getting the customer KYC onboarded at the field, and the couple of other steps involved in order to activate the connection. So all in done, one team is able to do anywhere between 2.5 to 3 connections per team. So if you have 6 folks in the team, you're talking about reaching around 10 connections per day. So that's a kind of on an average LCO can handle per day. On the other hand, if you talk about the demand, I'll give you a small example. Last to last week, we had this small sales drive for one of our LCO partners on ground, where we did on ground marketing activation. And to our surprise, in 48 hours, we crossed around 600 customers who paid up front, signed up for the connection. and in the week leading to that, those connections are activated by the partner. So I think there is absolutely confidence when I say there is demand in the tier 3 tier 4 market that we are activating these LCOs. The biggest bottleneck for these LCOs were getting access to quality hardware, the software, and the initial capital required. And I think with this platform, Daba platform, the network, they are getting access to those, and activating the supply side and demand side is getting matched up over here. So to answer your question, if the next question was if you have 10,000 hotspots somebody acquires, how soon you can activate those. So my answer would be that depends upon how many LCOs have we activated on our platform. That would define that number of days we can activate those connections. Demand is absolutely there. We should be able to match that sort of number if coming in from anywhere between 7 days to 15 days would be the lead time where if those 10,000 were to be absorbed.
There are 2 points that I want to add to this. So let's say someone buys 10,000 hotspots tomorrow. What this allows us to do is also to slightly onboard slightly bigger LCOs as well, because now we're way more interesting to them. So a lot of, like Shub's mentioned, a lot of the LCOs that we're onboarding now that you will start to see come live have anywhere between 500 and like 1,500 customers, right? Existing customers that will be onboarded, plus of course at an average of maybe 10 to 20 new customers a day in their market. If we sales go of hotspots go ridiculously well and we start selling tens of thousands of them, we can start approaching the LCOs that have maybe 6,000, 10,000 existing customers. They are far and few between. There aren't that many of them, but their ability to expand is also massive and quick. Basically, the more interest that you're bringing to the table and the larger scale of support that you're able to provide them, the bigger that everybody's ambitions get and the faster that things accelerate. To give you a sense of scale of what that means, our general goal is to hit 100,000 hotspots in the next 12 to 18 months, if not earlier. So we really want to gear up to be able to deploying that kind of level on a daily basis.
All right, cool. I think those were great answers. Thank you for those answers. Just one more question here. Um, Trying to think the best way to ask the question. So I understand that, and some of us do, many people don't, but dealing with the sexes, the centralized exchanges can be very messy, tedious, painstaking business. And as of late, it's getting a little bit more interesting to navigate. But having the sexes along with the dexes and stuff of that nature, having the sexes in line definitely is the best way to have like the biggest launch that's going to be in the best interest of everyone. But at the same time, is there like does it have to, are we definitely going to have a sex involved now? Or if the sexes don't get their, behavior in line, is there still a possibility that we will look look of doing a launch without a sex in the beginning? Trying to ask
I
you in the
think
best, yeah.
no, sure, absolutely. You know, India is a very important market for a lot of these large sexes, right? To give you an example, without taking names, one of the large exchange, centralized exchange, got the permissions to operate in India just yesterday. So if you would go to Twitter or search, you'll get the name. At the same time, another large exchange founder is tweeting holy wishes in Hindi, so on Twitter. So India is definitely a very important market, and the kind of project we are building, the kind of new wallets that we can bring to those exchanges is very appealing to those exchanges. Said at the same time, these exchanges also bring a lot of value when it comes to price discovery, when it comes becomes the kind of liquidity they can bring in. So it's important for us to have the centralized exchange as part of the our listing process from day one, because you have to understand if we just do a decentralized exchange, the to get on a centralized exchange, a large scale exchange will be very difficult because you lose that initial price momentum, the price discovery side of things, and it's very hard from that point onwards to get on centralized exchanges. So that is the core reason why, while everything else is there, we are still, holding our TGE. So that's very important for us that we put our best foot forward to get the best of the exchanges that we can and provide a good, platform for every participant who have been supporting us from early days. So yeah, that's where we are.
Man, that's an excellent answer. And I hope the people listening understood what you were saying and not saying at the same time. That's great vision. That's great forethinking. And yeah, that's definitely worth the wait. So awesome, guys. Thank you.
No
Oh,
problem.
thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you up here making bank. Nice. Oh, we have Velvet Doctor who has joined the stage. Hello again, sir. How's it going?
Hey, hi guys. How are you? Can you listen me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. Recently, like I was looking on Twitter, where more and more people who are into deep ins are thinking about the revenues, and they are basically recalculating market caps and all those things, basically based on the revenue these projects are generating. And most of the times, the deep ins are the projects that are at the forefront of this way of thinking, basically, where because most of the crypto projects are not generating any revenue, as you guys know, and whereas the deep in projects are coming to the forefront based on the real world utility as well as the revenue they're generating. So my question is like, are you guys thinking actively about how to increase the revenue for each of these hotspots so that the more revenue we can increase per hotspot, I think the more valuable the project would be. And, whatever the TGE or even the post TGE, I think it would be much easier for us to support the price momentum of the project.
No, I think that's a great question, Velvet Doctor. We do have a clear thought process around that, how we want to be increasing the ARPU, average revenue per user, down the road. We need to understand as we onboard the customers, we need to be competitive in our pricing. At the same time, we want to offer value for their money. We do have plans when it comes to increasing ARPU, which revolves around upselling the bandwidth, upselling the content packs, upselling the cable TV slash IPTV. So those bundles essentially are priced higher, and we have already seen in our first A/B testing where what is the consumer behavior in different part of where we operate today. We have tailored those it's in order to accommodate the taste and choice of that hyper local audience. So for example, in Maharashtra we are offering a custom packages where the Marathi content is delivered to them, which essentially charging a very small higher percentage of the monthly plan. People are now getting access to OTT content. People who need cable TV are getting, instead of cable TV, we are offering them IPTV as a service. So we have a clear path to increase the ARPU as we go down that road, which will eventually help a project, which is it's a burn and mint model. So eventually a revenue gets accrued over there, and that more revenue means more token burns and eventually impacting the price of the token. So good you brought that up. We do have that clarity in our thought process and we are moving towards that.
And I want to add that, yeah, while of course there is a focus on increasing average revenue per user, ARPU, like Shubs is saying, you also want to do that from a healthy base. So keep in mind that increasing the number of hotspots and that base subscriber base is also equally, if not more important over the next 12 months before we start focusing on ARPU. Yes, we're cognizant, but know that the base growth is also an incredibly thing because ARPU, apart from us coming up with cool ways to offer more value to the customer and charge them more and that sort of thing, ARPU will naturally increase over time as part of natural customer behavior and automatic rise in consumption, plus a bunch of other things. So you've seen this, for example, in the telcos, right? It went up by 30%, and I don't think they lost very many subscribers overall as a bucket. So yeah, it'll happen, but I just wanted to underline subscriber base width is very important as well.
Absolutely. Just to add that, our goal will, I think, will never be to increase the bandwidth pricing over there, but offer additional services to consumers for which they would be willing to pay. So that's yeah, just wanted to add that. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Like I totally agree with you guys that initially just the getting out the Dabba name and the brand and the kind of service that you guys provide and the the efficiency of the network is much more important than ARPU for sure. But I just wanted to put it on your radar basically just so you think about that. Second thing is like I have seen recently one of my friends just out of the blue was sending me the prices related to the Starlink and it was like $3,000 per month or something. So I was like, I was pretty happy to see that because that would be nowhere competing with Dabba is what I thought. And also, I am assuming as you guys are on the field, maybe, and you guys are much more technical than me, so maybe you guys can give me some info related to whether the broadband, like the network, the broadband that you guys are providing to the end users is that faster than the Starlink, or is that like slower than the Starlink, and that is why those guys are able to like charge those users so high? Like I wasn't sure why like that high because generally I see like 800 or $1,000 is the kind of the pricing for broadband services. Like why is that like 3,000 or 4,000 rupees from Starlink? Is what I didn't understand. Yeah.
I think it's a very different market that both products are catering to. Starlink in India is going to be useful for retired bureaucrats who have their farmhouses far away from the mainlands and they don't have any sort of connectivity in middle of nowhere. And this price point would be nicely, okay for those retired, bureaucrats and judges and who basically that is one category. And second category is a lot of these factories which are outside the city limits in between nowhere and they have hardly any connectivity. Again, those factories will be able to afford that sort of 10,000 per month sort of a pricing. So whereas what we are trying to cater to is tier three, tier two, tier four towns, the mainlands where people genuinely need internet in their lives every day. They need content, they need bandwidth, internet access, but they don't have any offering. And certainly they cannot afford to have Starlinks deployed on their rooftops. The second question was on your speed. While I will leave that more for Karam to answer that technical side, but my quick take would be we are at least 5 to 10x faster than Starlink, if not more. It's not because of the speed that they are charging more. This is more because of their brand plus where a typical broadband, fiber-based broadband cannot deliver, they are able to deliver for that. So for that convenience and for that brand is what they are able to charge, not for the speed. I would leave the technical side of things for Karam to answer.
Yeah, for sure. So Starlink is expensive for two reasons. One is it's expensive to put up thousands of satellites. There's only one company and one dude in the world that can do that. So there's a premium there. The second part is also Starlink is limited with the total capacity of their network. So I think Starlink's got about somewhere between 7 to 10,000 satellites up now, and I think this first gen of Starlink, the aim is about 36,000 satellites. Uh, I think they're in Gen 3 of satellite, and there might be a couple more that come up. But the total throughput and the total thing that Starlink on its best day a couple of years from now, they could serve maybe 20, 30 million customers or that sort of thing at most. So given that that's the total capacity of the network, that's a drop in India. And since they can serve the globe, They're basically serving what is the most premium market I can serve in any given country. And that's a remote place that really needs it. Not poor people in remote places that really need internet connection, but people in remote places that can afford premium prices and are willing to pay for it. So Starlink doesn't compete in any way, shape, or form. And I don't think anyone won on this Starlink deal. I don't think Geo won. I don't think Airtel won. I don't think Starlink won. The Indian consumer certainly didn't win because it's not even like they're getting a new company into the market, right? Even if you were a customer who wanted this new Starlink service, if and when it launches. Because don't forget that Starlink also announced last year, about 18 months ago, going, yay, we're launching. And then 24 hours later, we're like, no, we're not launching. Right? There's still regulation to go through. And nobody's, anyway, there's a ways to go there. But we're not competitive in that market at all. Fiber that we're deploying is at least 3 to 5x faster. We're serving gigabit speeds wherever we can as much as possible, and a factor of anywhere between 5 to 10 times cheaper than what Starlink is offering. That being said, if there are super remote places that we think we can use Starlink as a backhaul or as a backup or something like that, of course, we would absolutely take a look into how that would actually fit in. Oh, and to
That's
connect the lasers, since somebody brought that up, the same lasers that Starlink uses for its satellites to talk to each other, like the satellite beams radio waves to the ground, but to the satellite next to it, it relays using laser. We are using the same lasers, but on ground. But more about the lasers later.
That's awesome. I asked the kind of questions so that people on here, even like if people are from India, mostly they might be worried about Starlink. So I just wanted to, you guys to make it clear that no, Dabba is much faster, much cheaper, and much efficient than like whatever the Starlink that they were talking about. So that's awesome. Thanks, guys. One last thing is there any way we can see the kind of the plans or the offerings that you are giving out to the customers outside? I mean, I just wanted to see like how the plans are being rolled out, or what is the kind of pricing and what is the kind of speed that Dabba is offering this.
I think we have that put up already. I can share the link after the call. We can put it out on the Discord thing. So every LCU that we are onboarding gets their own microsite on the platform, and that's where they publish their offering and pricing. The pricing are very regional specific, keeping in mind what sort of demand, what sort of backhaul costing is, what sort of what is the consumer behavior insights in that market. So you will get to see that each region will have its own pricing, but in that region that we are operating in, we will always be cheapest and most reliable service available.
Super. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot for your time and effort. I hope Dabba will provide fantastic access, and it will expand all through the India very soon. We're pretty
Thank you so
excited
much.
for what is going to come. Good
Yeah,
luck to
I
all
mean,
of us.
yeah, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Beloved Doctor. I mean, always a pleasure. And yes, we are super excited with the growth to happen as well. I'm just going to bring you down. Yes, so guys, we are top of the hour, so we're gonna be winding up right now. Uh, Really funny. I don't know if we're jinxed or what. Even when we try to cut down the amount of topics we want to get into, we still end up talking for like an hour. We have the same problem with the 101 call as well. But yeah, I mean, I love it, right? I mean, the fact that you guys are so interested, you're asking your questions, you want to know more, that is a great indicator, right? That just having a community like this is very, very inspiring to us. So thank you all for your questions. If you do have further questions, or if we didn't get to your questions, make sure to ask them in general or any of the relevant Discord channels. If you want to ask us personally, raise a ticket. We'll be more than happy to answer those questions. We will be putting up a recording of this town hall within the next 24 hours, and Rumor will also be posting a summary as well very soon about everything that we just talked about. So thank you guys again for joining in. Always a pleasure. We will be having more and more town halls over the next coming weeks. There's going to be more engagements. There's going to be more content, and make sure to look out for those things. Summit is just around the corner. You're going to see a lot more information about Solana Summit coming out in the next week as we're approaching that. As you can tell with the amount of things that we're doing, none of us are sleeping too much. We are eating, breathing, and talking deep in at Solana right now. So keep an eye out for that content. It's going to be a great couple of weeks to come. Thank you all for joining in. Stay safe, stay happy, and we'll catch you in the next town hall. Bye bye.